guys, welcome back to my channel. I am not going to be on camera for this video because I know this is going to take a while, but I wanted to share my eyeshadow palette collection with you guys. I'm kind of getting close to filming my top 5 eyeshadow palette video, and I was kind of going through my palettes and I realized it's been probably a year and a half since I last shared my eyeshadow collection with you guys. Eyeshadow palettes, I should say. So I thought I would go ahead and film that real quick for you guys. So these are all the palettes that I own, from large palettes to small palettes, drugstore and high-end, everything. So it's going to be kind of a long video because I have a very large collection. I really love eyeshadow palettes. But we're going to start with this little pile here. These are the products, or these are the palettes that I had in my everyday makeup drawer. So that's why I wanted to start with these. I don't want to get them mixed up with the rest. So the first palette is the Lorac Minted palette. This was a limited edition palette. You can't find it anymore. It's very, very old. I am actually working on trying to pan this right now, so I've recently pulled it in to use it a little bit more, but other than that, it doesn't look like it's gotten a lot of use because it really hasn't gotten too much use, but it is a really good quality eyeshadow palette. I really like Lorac eyeshadows. I think they're good quality. I'm not a big fan of these glittery shades right here, but the rest of the palette I really love. I even really love the cheek products that are in here as well. I think it's a good overall palette. Next I have a Makeup Forever palette. This is the number 2 palette. I have 2 of them, I believe. I love Makeup Forever eyeshadows. I do have some of the singles as well, but these palettes, the pre-built palettes, are such a great value. I highly recommend checking them out. This one has some gorgeous fun shades in it, but it also has some neutral shades as well. So I think this is a really fun palette. I really like it a lot. Next I have a Pretty Vulgar palette. I just have one from this brand. This one here is the Pretty Birdie palette. I really love the quality on the eyeshadows. I'm definitely considering getting more palettes from them, but I really, really love these fun shades that are in here. Again, it has a few neutrals here on the top, and then most of it is very colorful, but it's a very, very nice palette, so I definitely recommend checking those out as well. Alright, next I have a Too Faced palette. Again, this is a limited edition palette. It's very old. It's the Pretty Rebel palette. So this one here is a bunch of fun colors and some neutrals mixed in as well. Another bright pink shade. I don't use those shades very often, but that Makeup Forever one had one like that as well. But it's a really good quality. I feel like this is like the Too Faced old formula, which I like better than their newer formula, but it's a really good one. Alright, next I have the Too Faced chocolate bar. This is the semi-sweet chocolate bar. This one's really good. I recently picked this one up. I've had the chocolate bar for a long time, but I didn't get this one for a while, and I don't know why. I had so many palettes, I was like, do I really need it? But I do really love this one. It's mostly neutrals. You got like a pop of color with the blue, but mostly neutrals and really easy to wear colors, and it smells amazing. It smells like chocolate. I definitely recommend that. I love that palette. Next I have a Fiona Styles palette. Now this is one of her smaller quads. This is called the Artist Eyeshadow Quad in Topanga. Anyway, it's just got 4 little eyeshadows in here. The quality on these I think is okay. It's not fantastic. I got it during the Ulta sale, so it was half off, so it was a good deal, but I feel like it's just an okay palette. It's not one that I would run out and repurchase, but I do use it from time to time, and it is decent quality. Next I have my Lorac Mega Pro number 2. I do have all 3 of the Mega Pros. The Lorac Pro shadows are by far my favorite formula. I love the formula on Lorac Pro shadows. This one is a great combination of colors. You have a lot of neutrals in here, some warm tones and some cool tones, some shimmers, some mattes. It's got everything. So it's a very versatile palette. So for that reason, I really, really love this palette. You can create a ton of looks from this. There's so many different shades and colors that it gives you so much variety, so I definitely really love these palettes. Next I have this little Coastal Scents palette. This is full of a bunch of their single hot pots, and to be honest, I've been playing with this a lot. I did do like a tutorial using these, or a get ready with me. I like the matte shades. I think the matte shades are okay, especially for the price, because they are a more affordable brand. But the shimmers, I really didn't like the way they performed. So I'm still kind of playing with this, but that's my impression. I don't recommend these. I honestly don't. I feel like you can get a better quality from other brands for a similar price point. So yeah, it's not my favorite. All right, next I have my Natasha Denona Sunset palette. I did do a full review on, in case you want to see that review. It's a stunning eyeshadow palette. I mean, the shades in here are just so beautiful. You've got some really foiled shades, you've got some matte shades, you've got some shimmer shades. The quality is, for the price, it's not worth the price in my opinion. The price is insane. I think it's like $129, I want to say. So for the price, I don't think it's necessarily worth it, but I do really like it. So I am going to keep it. I just don't think I would repurchase it now, knowing, you know, the quality and everything. All right, next I have this one here from Juvia's Place, and honestly, this is an affordable palette, and I feel like the quality of the shadows on this are better than the one from Natasha Denona. But you've got some beautiful shades in here. They have some foiled, they have some mattes in here. By the way, this one is the Nubian 2. But yeah, the quality on these, I mean, they're just so stunning. Look at that, you guys. Did you see me swatch that? Like, you cannot beat the formula on these eyeshadows. They are just so stunning. The foils you definitely want to apply with your finger rather than a brush, but they're just stunning, beautiful eyeshadows. All right, next I have a Marc Jacobs palette. This one here is the Night Owl palette. I did find this one at TJ Maxx. I got such a steal on this eyeshadow palette. Now, it did have 2 shades that were broken. This one is completely gone, and then that one is just a little bit broken, but I still purchased it because it was such a great price. And Marc Jacobs eyeshadows are so expensive. Marc Jacobs eyeshadows are so expensive, but they're really good quality. So I was really excited to find this. Next I have the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palette. This is an all matte palette, and it's got a lot of different shades in here. Most of the time with all matte palettes, you see them like a lot of neutrals. This one has some fun colors as well, and it's got some neutrals too, but it's just a really good mix of shades. And I love the fact that it's all matte. So it's really easy to come up with a lot of looks from this one as well. And I definitely love that palette. Next I have these little Maybelline quads. I just recently picked these up, and I honestly haven't even opened them yet. They are in my everyday makeup drawer, so I'm going to be testing them out soon. This first one is Designer Chocolate, and then I also have the Sunlit Bronze. So definitely going to be trying those soon. I just haven't gotten a chance to get to them yet because I had a lot in my everyday makeup drawer. Alright, now we're going to move on to the rest of my palette. Okay, and I'm trying to go quickly through this just because I have so many, but I am planning to do a series of tutorials. So if you want to see me do a tutorial with any of the palettes that I show you guys, let me know. I'm not going to be able to swatch everything or anything like that, just there's too much. Next I have my Tartest Pro palette. So this one is honestly, I don't know why I bought this. I knew that I don't like Tarte eyeshadows. Sorry, it's so reflective, it's going to be hard to get you a good angle, but I know I don't like Tarte eyeshadows, but because this was supposed to be their new formula, I was like, oh, maybe it's better. So many people loved it. I went ahead and bought it, but I still just can't get on board with Tarte eyeshadows. I just feel like they don't blend well because they just get so muddy so fast on my eyes, and then they don't last throughout the day. By the end of the day, my eyeshadow is like gone. I don't know what it is about the formula of these. If you guys have any tips like on what kind of eyeshadow primer might help with that situation, let me know because I've tried it so many ways and I just don't get them. Next I have another Juvia's Place palette. This is the Masquerade Mini. I did get it as a set with the other palette. These are just so good, you guys. These are really good. If you have not tried Juvia's Place, I highly recommend it because it's so affordable and just really stunning quality. Now, I have seen them on Haute Look quite a bit as well, so definitely keep your eye out for that because it's a really good deal. Next I have my little Kylie Cosmetics palette. This is the Burgundy palette. Honestly, you guys, I was really unimpressed with the quality of these eyeshadows. I'm glad I have one for comparison purposes and because I really just wanted to try it and review it. So I'm glad I did pick one up, but I am definitely not buying anything else from Kylie Cosmetics. Next I have my Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics. I love this palette. This is a great all neutral palette, or all matte, all neutral as well. This top row is kind of your cooler tones and these are your warmer tones. It's kind of mixed in actually, but anyway, you get a lot of both. It's really good quality. I definitely recommend this guy as well. I love that. Speaking of Urban Decay Naked palettes, I do also have the Naked Smoky palette. This one is a good palette, especially if you like doing a smoky eye look. There's a lot of darker shades in here. You have some mattes, you have some shimmers, you have a mix of everything. It's definitely a good quality palette, so I I do enjoy that one. And then next I have my Naked 3 palette. This one I don't use as often as I should. It is good quality. I just feel like with this palette it's so one note that I end up coming up with the same look every single time I use it. So for that reason I don't use it a ton, but I definitely need to break it out and use it a little bit more because it is good quality. This definitely is one I probably would not have repurchased, but I'm going to hang on to mine for now. And then the last Naked palette I own right now is the Naked Original. I did already declutter my Naked 2. I didn't feel like it was one that I used ever, but my original Naked palette is definitely my favorite of all of them because I feel like it is the most versatile. It has the most like shade options in here, and the quality is of course incredible. I am planning to pick up the Naked Heat. We haven't got it in store yet, but that is something I will be picking up. Next I have some Kat Von D palettes. I have the Interstellar palette from Kat Von D. This one is a really beautiful palette. It's got some purples in here, but you also have a lot of neutrals, some grays. This one is like a really pretty silver. So it's a really good palette. I found this one at Marshall's, I believe, on a really good price because they did discontinue it, unfortunately. But it is a really nice palette. I also have the Monarch. Yeah, I have the Monarch palette as well. I never was able to get my hands on the Chrysalis, unfortunately. They discontinued it before I was able to get it, but I love this one as well. This one's a lot of cool tones. It's pretty much all cool tones. Some purples, some blues, some grays. Really, really stunning. This one is a great, like, all over the lid kind of a shade, so I really love this palette. Definitely don't use it as much as I should be, but I have so much eyeshadow, so really love it though. I also have two of the Shade and Light eye palettes. So I have the old packaging and the new packaging. I honestly thought they were going to be the same, but they're not. They are different. Basically the layout is the same, but the colors are not identical. So the one I have on the bottom is the original, and as you can probably see, it might be hard in this lighting, this one is just darker than this one. So just for example, it's usually this orangey shade right here. That orangey brown is much lighter in the new one compared to the old formula. And then on this first little quad right here, this middle brown is significantly lighter than the old packaging. So I wasn't aware that she made changes to the colors, but clearly she has because those are not the same colors. So I haven't had a chance to play with this one in the new packaging yet, so I'm definitely going to be comparing the quality on those. But for now, I did hang on to both of them for now. Alrighty, next I have my other two Lorac Mega Pro palettes. This one is the original Mega Pro. It's really hard to find, but I'm so glad I got it because it is definitely my favorite of all the Mega Pro palettes. Just stunning eyeshadows, so many fun looks that you can come up with out of this palette, and as you can see, mine is definitely getting a lot of use. It is quite dirty, but I love this palette. And then my newest one is the Mega Pro 3. I honestly haven't used this a ton yet just because it is so new for me, but it's a lot more like kind of muted colors, but I still really, really like it. So yeah, you've got a lot of transition colors in here, but it's a really fun palette as well. Alright, next I have another Kat Von D palette actually. This is the Metal Matte palette. So all of the top row is the Metal Crush formula and the bottom row is all matte eyeshadows. This is just such a great versatile palette. I'm really, really glad that I picked this up. It was limited edition for last holiday, so you can't find it anymore, but I am so glad I have it because it is a really, really beautiful palette. I also have both of these City Color palettes, and to be honest with you guys, I feel like I'm going to end up decluttering these. I want to play with them more. I'm not ready to do that yet, but I really just was not impressed by these. I only picked them up because Emily Noel was raving about how great they were, but I just really haven't gotten it. I have the Harvest Moon, and this one is fantastic. The colors look stunning, but they just don't apply well. So yeah, I'm not too impressed by those. Next, I have another one of those little Makeup Forever Artist 9 palettes. This one here is the first one that's all neutrals. The only thing I don't like about this one is it does not have any mattes in it. So I never use this on its own. I do have to incorporate other eyeshadows with this when I use it because there's no real blending shades. This one's kind of a satin, but it just doesn't work for blending, I've found. So I do end up using other palettes when I use this, but I do really love this palette. It's very, very pretty. Another Fiona Styles eyeshadow palette. I have the, what is this one called? I think it's just called the Artist Eyeshadow Palette. It's a lot of neutral shades and it's nice, but again, just like with the quad, I feel like the quality is okay. It's not fantastic, but again, I did buy it on sale. I also have this guy here, which is similar colors. This is from Laura Mercier. This is called the Eye Artist Palette. I think that's what she was going for, was a dupe on the Laura Mercier. But the Laura Mercier by far is way better than the Fiona styles. The quality is just way better. There's very unique shades in here that she did not try to duplicate on the Fiona styles. Like this one, the African Violet, is such a stunning purple with gold glitter. It's so beautiful. It just is definitely one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes, especially for the fall. I don't know why, but I feel like I reach for this more in the fall. But I just really, really love this one. Alright, next on this little stack here, I have a Revealed palette from Coastal Scents. This is the original Revealed, which is by far my favorite of all of them. The quality was just better on this original one. I feel like it went downhill as they went along. So definitely my favorite, but I do also have the Revealed 2. I did declutter my Revealed 3 and my Revealed Smoky, I believe. So this is the only other one I have. And this is what it looks like on the inside. The colors are fun. Like, I love this color right here. The colors are fun. The quality is okay, not fantastic. It's like hit or miss. Some of the shadows in here are really great and some are not so great. So I've kept it because of, you know, I do like some of them, but they're not all fantastic. Whereas with the original Revealed, they were all really, really great. This one was kind of, some were good, some were not so good. So, but I do still have that. I also have the Lorac Unzipped palette. This is just such a beautiful neutral palette. I really, really love this one as well. Next, I have the Urban Decay Electric palette. I don't use this often because these colors are super bold and bright, but it is a really fun one to have and to incorporate, especially if I'm doing a look where I need a certain color or if I want something really fun and bright and bold. But yeah, this is definitely amazing quality, really bright colors. Ooh, guys, this is gonna be a long video. I might have to split this video into 2 parts because of how long it's gonna be. So I have several of these Buxom palettes. This one here is a limited edition one. It was called Look All You Want. It was last year's holiday, I believe, but the nice thing about these palettes is that you can change out colors. So you can just slide this out, whether it's a pre-built one or if it's one you build yourself, you can slide it out and change colors around. So I like that about these. I think it's an ingenious idea. So let's say you don't feel like these colors go together, you can just switch out a color, or if you run out of one, you can replace it. So I really love that about these. So I do like the quality on these shadows as well, obviously. That's why I have so many. I also have the Buxom's Dolly's Wild Side. This is definitely my favorite one. Really, really stunning, kind of pinky, plummy colors in here, but some neutrals as well. Definitely love that. And then this is the customized palette that I built myself, and I mostly have their newer release shades in here. There's a lot of like duochromes in here, some really just unique and stunning shades, but look at that. It's just so pretty. But I really, really love their eyeshadows and I highly recommend trying them if you have not already. Okay, next I have one of the Vise palettes. This is the only Vise palette that I own. This one is the, I think it's the Vise 3? Is it the 2 or the 3? I'm not sure. I had another one and I decluttered it. And I honestly can't remember which one this is. If you guys know, let me know. I'm not real good at keeping up on the Vise palettes, to be honest. I just wasn't that into them. But this one I really liked, so I did go ahead and get this one. Just a lot of some neutrals over here, some fun, bright colors, but mostly neutrals. Like there's a lot of plummy purples, which I love using, some reddish kind of shades. That's definitely my kind of tone. So I have hung on to this one because I really like the shades in that one. I also have this Morphe palette. This was one that I customized myself using all of their single shadows. So I did do a full video when I first got this of like what shades are in here. So I'll link that above in case you're curious. But these are okay. They're not fantastic. Honestly, they remind me of the Coastal Scents formula. They're like, they're okay, but they're affordable. So I get why people like them because you can get so many shades for such an affordable price, but they're just really not that great, you guys. Next, I have this little palette from NARS. This is the brand new Narcissus Loaded palette. You guys, this is so good. This is really, really good. It is still available, but you guys know how NARS is. They keep their palettes around for like, what, 6 months and then they pull them. This one's great. I definitely recommend that you run out and get this. The quality of all the shadows is fantastic. All the different formulas. There's some mattes, some satins, and some shimmers, and they're all great. So It doesn't look like it's very versatile, but I have come up with so many different looks when I've used this palette, and I love it. Next, I have my Master Palette by Mario from Anastasia. This is a good palette. I think it's good, but I don't think it's as fantastic. When it first came out, everyone's like, this is the only palette you need, and I think it's good, but I still definitely prefer my Modern Renaissance to this one. I just don't feel like the shades are that unique in here. Although the formula is amazing, the shades are ones that I have over and over in my collection. So for that reason, I was kind of like, oh, okay, it's good. But the Anastasia Modern Renaissance, on the other hand, it was a very unique palette when it first came out. A lot of people are doing these shades now, but this was definitely the first one where you were seeing those like really red and really saturated colors. But it is a fantastic palette. I think this is definitely one of those must-have palettes that you need to have in your collection, and I love mine, obviously. I use it a lot, and I love it. So I also have this little Z palette. Oh, one of my eyeshadows is popping out here. This here is full of MAC eyeshadows. I'm gonna have to fix that later, but this here is full of MAC eyeshadows, a bunch of different single MAC eyeshadows. I did talk about what was in here in my in a video recently, so I will link that above in case you want to see. Same with all of my like customizable palettes. I told you guys in that video what was in each one, so I'll link that video above in case you want to see the details on those. So I also have this palette from the Balm. This is the Meet Matte Nude palette. I like this palette. I don't feel like it's my best all matte palette, but it's a good one. It's good quality for the price point. Again, it's a more affordable brand. So yeah, it's good. It's not fantastic. Another Urban Decay palette. This is the Gwen Stefani collaboration palette. This is a really fun palette. I really liked this. I thought the quality was good. I know it got mixed reviews. I think it was mostly because of the shades. People felt like these top rows right here were just all too similar and not enough variety, but I didn't mind that because those are the shades that I would use the most, so I don't mind having a lot of like everyday usable shades in a palette, even if they're really, really similar. This one's more cool, this one's more warm, so you can create a different looks with them. So I actually liked this palette, and I'm definitely glad I got that one. Next up, I have the Sephora Mixology palette. Again, I did do a full review on this, so I will link that above in case you're interested in seeing it. It's a pretty new palette for Sephora that came out a couple months ago, I want to say. It's got some mattes, it's got some shimmers, it's got some metallic shades. It swatches gorgeous. Like the swatches, when I swatched this in store, I was like, I have to have this palette, but it doesn't apply as well and it does not last as well. So overall, it's not my favorite, but it's good quality for Sephora collection. All right, I have the Estee Edit palettes as well. What were these called? The Gritty and Glow, I think is what they were called. They're right now on clearance on Sephora's website. So if you're interested in getting these, get them before they discontinue them altogether. They're magnetized, so they stick together, which is kind of cool for storage purposes. The silvery one is your face or neutral palette. So you can use this for your face as highlighters and blushes, bronzers too if you wanted a really glowy bronzer, because they have like a ton of shimmer in them, or you can use them as eyeshadows. So it's a very versatile little palette. I love it. I think it's fantastic quality. I was really impressed by these, especially for the price. I can't remember the price right now, but they were a really good price for how much shadow you're getting, because you also got this. It came as a set. This one here is the darker colors. Now you do have a couple neutrals on top here, but for the most part these are darker, more saturated colors. This one is so stunning. It's like a purple blue peacock color. So gorgeous. Like, I can't say enough good things about this palette. I really think this palette is fantastic. So I highly recommend checking that out as well.